And this is big exclusive that we are bringing to you. NDTV has exclusive access to the ethics panel report. The ethics panel that questioned TMC's Lok Sabha MP Mahua Moitra in the cash for questions scandal. Now, what is this report? And we have accessed this report. We are not showing it on air. But according to the details that we have read, there has been unethical conduct by the TMC MP Mahua Moitra. There's contempt of house. That's what the ethics panel report clearly states. And the report goes on to say that Mahua Moitra shared the user ID with unauthorized person. There's so much more to this, but I'm being joined right now by Maria Shakil right now. And Maria, a big exclusive. NDTV has accessed the ethics panel report and it is extremely scathing.
Yes, that's right. And we have the three recommendations that have been made by this ethics panel of the Lok Sabha, which is headed by Vinod Sonkar. Remember, in the last meeting that was chaired by Mr. Sonkar, there was a lot of, fireworks that happened with opposition MPs staging a walkout. At that time, Mahua Moitra had appeared before the ethics panel to present her side of the story. She had come out all guns blazing, saying that the questions that were asked were seen as almost like a cheer haran. Thereafter, she had written a letter to the Lok Sabha Speaker demanding action against the ethics panel chief. So what now happens to this panel report, that remains to be seen. But let me break down for our viewers as to what are these three recommendations that have been made by the ethics panel of Parliament, which was looking into the charge of the breach of parliamentary procedures, the breach of conduct of an MP, and whether Mahua Moitra can be seen as someone who indulged in quid pro quo when it came to asking questions as a member of the Lok Sabha. If you look at the paragraphs, because we have those pages, it says very clearly that the serious misdemeanor on the part of Srimati Mahua Moitra calls for severe punishment, and the committee therefore recommends that Srimati Mahua Moitra MP may be expelled from the membership of the 17th Lok Sabha. It goes on to say that in view of highly objectionable, unethical, heinous and criminal conduct of Srimati Mahua Moitra, the committee recommends for intense legal institutional inquiry by the Government of India in a time-bound manner. I think the another part which I think it becomes very important is because they were looking at cash trail, because Mahua Moitra and those who were there as opposition MPs had been repeatedly saying, where is the cash? So now the ethics panel says that the money trail of cash transaction between Srimati Mahua Moitra and Shri Darshan Hiranandani as part of the quid pro quo should be investigated by the Government of India in a legal, institutional and time-bound manner. I think that becomes certainly important, because the questions that were repeatedly asked by Mahua Moitra was that how is there a breach of parliamentary privileges, because it is only about the login ID and password of the, as a Lok Sabha member, and there are no rules in the book to say that there has been that MPs cannot share their login ID and password. So the larger question of some kind of breach of national safety and security has also been raised in this in this report. So I think what happens now becomes important, and for that, Sneha, I will be bringing in the guests who are joining us live and going straight to I'll try and get the guests, because I think it becomes important to try and understand what next in this story, because tomorrow is when Mahua Moitra will be there before the panel again. And now this adopted report will be submitted to the Lok Sabha Speaker, and the Lok Sabha Speaker will then, during the winter session of Parliament, be taking the sense of the House, and thereafter taking the sense of the House, he will be deciding, the House will then decide, the Parliament, that is the Lok Sabha, will decide what next for Mahua Moitra.
Absolutely, Mahua, and stay with us. Let me also just introduce our panelists at this apologies. Maria, please stay on with us. Let me also at this point introduce our panelists. We are being joined by Sanjay Singh. He is the senior journalist. Bhaskar Ghosh, spokesperson of BJP in West Bengal, and Vinny Dandia. He's the advocate. as well as the Supreme Court former Assistant Solicitor General of India. Thank you very much for joining us. Well, first question to you, Mr. Sanjay Singh. Now with this scathing report of the Ethics Committee, it's no longer just an allegation by a political rival.
Yeah, I think getting this breaking news or this scoop before Ethics Committee report has been adopted, that I think is going to be watched and seen by everybody today and tomorrow, tonight and tomorrow morning, and during the day, because this is going to be a big news. As I said, this was one of the biggest unfolding, or perhaps the biggest unfolding political scandal in recent times. The issues involved here were three things: A, an MP, unethical conduct by an MP; B, bringing corporate rivalry or corporate interest to the House, whereby an MP allegedly becoming voice for a particular corporate group against another group for that particular group, and vis-a-vis also in the process targeting the current dispensation. Targeting current dispensation is nothing wrong by an opposition member or by any member of the parliament, but attaching, getting somebody's voice from outside, that of course was an issue. A piece of national security issue was there.
You know, Sanjay,
passing
Sanjay,
over
I
login
think the
ID
most
and
important
password.
part of this recommendation, the three recommendations, Sanjay, that has been made becomes important because it says, please investigate the money trail. If this is indeed quid pro quo, I think that is where the criminal investigation comes in. Because so far, if you look at it, all the opposition MPs who were there in the ethics panel, who staged a walkout along with Mahua Moitra, had been asking, where is the money? That brings me to Vineet Dhanda. Vineet, now, yes, please go ahead. Go ahead, Sanjay.
Absolutely, because what the Ethics Committee has recommended, which essentially means that this case is further going to be investigated either by the CBI or by the ED or by some other agency, most likely by the CBI, because as we heard during the day, CBI Lokayukt has referred this case to the CBI, and therefore that money quid pro quo and also whatever other possible things that could have transacted in between. Was there a larger conspiracy? Was there something else?
Yes.
Some other parties also involved, and the particular MP, because this also involved, this whole story broke out because of a pit law. And relating to that, the House committee also uses a word, which you said, contempt of the House. That is also again very interesting, because something of this nature had never unfolded, never happened in the past.
Because the question before the House panel was if this is a breach of the privileges an MP enjoys. The question before the House panel was whether this is contempt of the House. So the House panel is saying that her conduct has been unethical. Vineet Dhanda, as far as the procedures go, from now onwards it will be almost similar to what we had seen in 2005 when Pawan Bansal committee had submitted it before the Lok Sabha speaker then. Thereafter, it was the sense of the House which was communicated, which said expulsion. Now here, what happens from now onwards, because the committee has been very scathing in its report, to the time the winter session begins?
So first thing is, ma'am, expulsion is guaranteed because part of her allegations she had accepted that she had given her login ID and passwords to a person who drafted the allegations against a reputed business group, Adani Group. And such conduct, this is not even a misconduct. A person has been put by the people in parliament for their benefit, for their upliftment. And such member of parliament, just for small piece of money or small favors, sells out the basic integrity of a member of parliament. That is the highest preposterous thing a member of parliament could do. And on top of that, she has been putting allegations on the ethics committee. So there comes the logic in this, ulta chor kotwal ko date. Now, third part, which is very important, is as a member of parliament, she has given her login and ID. What else she has done? Because we have seen in past our parliament was attacked also by terrorists. Whether there is an angle, she has given certain access to those people who could be anti-national, who could be harmful for our parliament house in future. So
No,
many
I
things are
think
to be seen, and
that's a
just
bit of an exaggeration. Vinny, that's a
it's
bit of an
not an
exaggeration
exaggeration,
because I
ma'am.
think it will be playing out politically now. Because tomorrow at 4 p.m. is when she appears before the ethics committee, and other MPs have to be also present to adopt this report. The question is, will it be similar fireworks that we saw last time around play even this time? We have a West Bengal BJP spokesperson also joining us. My question is, how will this play out politically? Because now this will be playing out in the political domain. Do you think her position has become untenable for Mamata Banerjee, Bhaskar Ghosh?
Yeah, absolutely. I think it has been totally politicized by Mahua Moitra for over a considerable period of time, because she has done I think the crimes, or the three violations. Number one, as you know, the sharing of the user ID with an unauthorized person. Number two, she has dragged the corporate fight into the chamber, into the House of Representative, that is our Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha, Lok Sabha especially, and try to get the benefit. And cash for the query is an quid pro quo, that to get some personal benefits, she has
Bhaskar Ghosh,
taken the
how does the
advantage of that.
BJP in Bengal plans to take this up? Because it is
Yes.
about one of the most vociferous MPs from the Trinamool Congress. Because so
And in
far, the
yeah.
fact is that the TMC is not supporting her, but Mamata Banerjee in all these weeks has come out in support of everyone who has one case or the other by an agency. But this is a parliament panel. And parliamentary panel has been, if you look at the words, these are very strong words, perhaps stronger than what we had seen in 2005.
Exactly, and BJP of Bengal, I think, is sharply and vehemently reacting, and this is the style of governance of Mamata Banerjee and her MP and MLAs. Whatever they do, they try to project themselves that okay, they are sacrosanct. Whatever Mamata Banerjee is doing in Bengal today, all kind of corruptions, everywhere corruptions. The same has been reflected through her behavior, or through the behavior of her member of parliament, that she is deep neck into the corruption of cash for query, and she is talking about XYZ. She is vehemently attacking Honorable Prime Minister Mr. Narendra Modi about the corruption. So that is the style of management, the style of
Okay.
governance of Mamata Banerjee, and BJP West Bengal is vehemently will oppose from door to door, from block to block, from district to district, about exposing the TMC about their blasphemous attitudes, or diabolic attitude, or a double standard attitude, and expose them in the public, in front of the public of West Bengal, who will take the decision in the forthcoming 2024 elections.
In fact, I'm being joined by Vineet Goenka as well. He's a political analyst. Vineet Goenka, even as Mahua Moitra is expected to come before the ethics panel tomorrow, what is perhaps going to be very interesting is how is this going to be seen by the opposition that has largely been silent on it, and something that the BJP has been repeatedly raising.
Snehaji, Ram Ram to you and everybody on the panel. This is a case where the entire country looks forward, and I hope the India Alliances, the opposition, also voice similarly the way the Ethics Committee has found this. This is a case of hit job, a woman trying to act like a corporate mercenary. On behalf of one particular corporate tries to hit another corporate, purely with an intent to amass wealth. She is corrupt, she has an abusive behavior, and also it's an unethical. I think the panel was right in identifying that she should be terminated from the 17th Lok Sabha. As rightly pointed out, there should be investigations whether there is a conspiracy and a larger conspiracy beyond that. Because this is the same time when the company and the corporate Adani were attacked by Hindenburg outside, and she was trying to do this within the house. I think these are the enemies within we should be exposed. There should be thorough investigation whether there are more angles to this particular part. But as it is rightly said in Bangla, Chorar Mai Bado Gala, Chor Macha Bada Shor, she makes a lot of noise trying to make this has to be a personal case. But But I think it's an open and a shut case. The people know that she was involved. She has already shared that she had shared the OTP. Only thing is, she should now tell the people how much money she has received and who all were involved other than Hiranandani along with her.
All right, Mr. Bhaskar Ghosh, let me just come in at this point. And of course, the response from Mahua Moitra is yet to be known. What is her response to the report of the ethics panel? But one of the things that she had said earlier was that there is no rule in the ethics panel or in the parliament about sharing one's login.
No, here I want to be very sure and very confident that he, at least if there is any rule for reason's sake, there is no rule that she will try to sell the entire ID and entire confidentiality of the Lok Sabha to an unauthorized person who are indirectly interested or indirectly benefited from the activity of a respective MP. MP is the highest level of representation in the present scenario in the constitution, and even when she is going to sell her position for money, for benefits, then it's a heinous crime. That's the word heinous have been used in the report, ethics panel report, that this is a heinous crime. And she is not only selling her identity, the selling the oath she has taken before coming to the parliament, sitting in the parliament. So I think there is no questions that whether it is in the rule book or not.
What will happen tomorrow? Because tomorrow is when the other MPs will be present in the ethics committee meeting where the report will be adopted. Remember, Mahua Moitra had also written to the Lok Sabha speaker in which she had demanded that she should be allowed to cross-question Darshan Hiranandani, the businessman in question here, who used her login ID and password. Both of them have accepted, Mahua Moitra accepted that she gave him the login ID and password, and Darshan Hiranandani said yes, he used her login ID and password for posting those questions, which were seen as, settling scores with a corporate house, which was his corporate rival. Sanjay saying tomorrow is important because last time around we saw the ethics panel being divided, which did come as a surprise to many. The MPs, Danish Ali and Congress MPs came out in support of Mahua Moitra. Now, are you expecting similar fireworks, these MPs walking out saying that they will not be accepting this report?
Maria, surely expect some fireworks tomorrow. Last time around when a committee met and Mahua Moitra came out, it was all sound and fury, and so was from Danish Ali. So I wouldn't be surprised if same happens tomorrow for multiple reasons, for reasons that we all know. We have also in the past seen as to parliamentary committees divided on political lines, but at the same time, there have been also situations when committee report was though adopted, but other members also made some noises. There have been instances when a dissenting report has also been submitted. I don't know whether in this case it will happen or not, but in Mahua Moitra's case, there is a clear case. I repeat, there is a clear case. Mahua Moitra herself accepted as to whatever wrongdoings that have been committed by her. The only thing, in her brazenness, arrogance, or smugness, she said all this was justified and this was nothing wrong. There is nothing wrong in doing so. Remember, an MP kind of carries trust, faith, and belief of the people, lakhs and lakhs of people that he or she represents. Their will in the parliament, and therefore integrity of that particular MP and her responsibilities is taken. Mahua Moitra in that case has breached all those trust, faith of her electorate. At the same time, the confidence the parliament reposes and trust parliament reposes in to an MP, to its member, that has also been breached. Parliamentary privileges, ethics, kind of legality, of course. That legality issue, I think, is going to bear very heavy and also on other persons in times to come.
Right. Please stay on with us at this point. It's time for a short break. It's a huge exclusive of NDTV where the ethics panel report has now recommended for the termination of membership of Mahua Moitra from the Lok Sabha. More on that after a short break. Welcome back. And we are being joined by panelists and who are discussing the very scathing report of the ethics panel that questioned Mahua Moitra on the allegations or the scandal that now seems to be about bribe for questions. We are left with very less time as of now, but if I could ask our panelists to just very quickly give their last comments on what is now emerging after the report, after the damning report, and what is expected in the next 24 hours. Sanjay Singh first. Very quickly.
Sorry.
Okay, you'll have to unmute Mr. Sanjay Singh, but as you do that, maybe we could just start with Bhaskar Ghosh. 30 seconds each, very quick, please.
Yeah, I think according to reports, they have used the perfect terms: legal, intensive, institutional, and time-bound investigation to be held to the entire matter. And second, whatever Mr. Dubey has mentioned, that Lokpal is also initiated and CBI inquiry to this cash for query matters, cash query scam rather. Number three, there should be exemplary punishments if it is proven true that no member of parliament or any of the constitutional and the government machineries, the government bodies, should be in the future be even think of sharing the national security to anyone else who don't deserve it, and especially it should not be given for any kind of personal vendettas and the personal gain. So that has to be done.
Mr. Vineet Danda.
In my personal opinion, ma'am, after this shame, she should personally resign this from the Member of Parliament post to save her face a little bit of what is left. And then, if not, then exemplary punishment, as my learned brother said, that should be taken against her. And third, a very serious inquiry need to be done at every possible level by CBI, ED and everybody, so that what all she has done, besides sharing password and giving questionnaires, other things also should come out to tell the people of our country as to what exactly has been done by the party.
All right, but it's also
MP
important
itself.
to mention at this point that the panel has recommended for an institutional inquiry and for an inquiry into what the money trail really could be at this point. The panel, of course, saying that the login was given to people who were unauthorized, to a person who was unauthorized. Vineet, go and come.
I think, we also expect some explanation from Ms. Banerjee. TMC should come out with official things. They should not wait for the House. They should terminate her from the party tomorrow itself, once the recommendations are made public. So I think, there is a role which Mamata Banerjee also has to play. Else it will be deemed that she had blessings of Mamata Banerjee. This hit job or this corporate mercenaries job was not done alone by her. We also have to understand, and people have a right to know what all went behind the scenes. Why did she share the password? Where did she share the password? And it is such shocking. It's shameful. She cannot play a victim card right now. It's unethical, and she should get some appropriate punishment as she has taken the oath of the office.
Right. In fact, perhaps another thing that everybody would be looking at would be what would be Ms. Mahua Moitra's response to this ethic panel report, considering she is also an elected representative even as we speak. Sanjay Singh, last 30 seconds.
See, troubled times for Mahua Moitra. But larger question is, of course, CBI inquiry is going to be there, as perhaps through Lokayukt or through Parliament, Government of India, once this report is adopted. But this also raises a wider question, and the issue would also be for NDA alliance parties, because she was one of the foremost speakers, foremost members of that particular NDA alliance. And she was taken to be vanguard of whatever their causes were against Modi, their angst. So this leaves India Alliance and Trinamool Congress also in a situation whereby people are going to question, and this would be a huge talking point politically in times to come.
Sure. Thank you very much for joining at this point. Crucial hours ahead, even as Mahua Moitra is set to depose before the panel in few hours from now. Thank you for watching.